Hello everybody, happy Monday. My name is Logan Lynch and I'm a current student of physical therapy. What's up? I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about the concept of starting something new, and why starting something is actually typically the easy part and finishing something is the hard part, and why I believe this. Because a lot of times we think of starting something as the hard part, like that was the hard decision to make that decision to run the half marathon, or to start writing a book, or start a new fitness program, start a nutrition program, like start something new. And it definitely starts there. Obviously, like, you're not going to get anywhere with your goals unless you choose to start. But people get so wrapped up in how the starting part is the hard part, and it makes it seem like the rest of the journey is easy, which is not the case. The starting part, you just made a decision. And then after that, all of the work that goes into it, all of the sacrifices and the growth and the hard work that goes into every single day after that, that's the hard part. Because eventually the excitement goes away. Like, when you sign up for something new, like, how many of you guys have decided to run, like, I feel like half marathons are like a big thing now. Everybody's doing them. And that's awesome. But, like, how many of you guys have, like, signed up for half marathon and then everyone gets so excited for you? Your friends and your family, that's awesome. Like, good for you. Way to go. That's awesome. Way to push yourself. And you haven't actually done anything yet. Like, you made the decision to run the half marathon, and that's great. That's awesome. That's an awesome decision. But everybody always celebrates the beginning. They're exciting. You're starting something new. You're making changes. You have new goals. You have a new community. You have people surrounding you, supporting you. And that's exciting, So you get really excited about running this half marathon. You signed up for it, and then everyone is celebrating you and talking about how great you are for deciding to do this. And what happens is, when people celebrate you like that, like, you get releases of happy hormones in your brain. You get releases of dopamine that is, like, satisfying, and it's a pleasurable experience and a feeling, because other people are recognizing you and giving you that recognition because you decided to start something new. You decided to start. You made that decision to begin this new adventure, and that's exciting. And but the problem is that after a while, those people who were super excited for you eventually aren't going to be always so excited for you. And so then that dopamine release, those happy hormones, aren't being released as much because you were dependent on the outside external influences to release them. You were getting that satisfaction of doing something before you even did it because of people celebrating you starting. And what happens when you start a new endeavor, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And those people that supported you in the beginning are sometimes going to drop off because your sacrifices are going to inconvenience them. Like, you're on vacation and you're training for half marathon, and you have to get up early in the morning, or you have to push breakfast till later so you have time to get your long run in while you're on vacation. And then your friends or your family, whoever you're with, is giving you a hard time about it. And it's like, what happened to that time I signed up and you guys were so excited for me to do this, but they didn't think about all of the work that goes into it and different sacrifices that you have to make. So the second that your goals and that thing that you started that they were happy for you about, the second that it starts to inconvenience them, they're suddenly not as excited about it anymore, because it's influencing their life and they feel inconvenienced, and so then they give you a hard time about it. And this is why so many people quit on their goals, because all of a sudden, like, some of the decisions that you have to make in order to reach your goals, they inconvenience other people, because you make changes to their plans, or you have to adjust a schedule, or you say no to a party because you're on a nutrition plan, like, and other people start to give you crap for it. But those are the same people that celebrated you in the beginning. And this is why the start is the easiest part, because you have the support of people, because it has not inconvenienced them yet. They're excited for you. They're happy for you. You made this big decision. You're going to be great. You're going to do something awesome. You are going for your goals. But then as you go, like, people aren't going to be as excited about it because it's not their goals. It's yours. And that's why you have to be the most excited about it the entire time. As you go, people are going to drop off. They're going to be mad that you're inconveniencing them. They're going to be giving you crap, or they're just not going to care as much. Like, they're not going to celebrate you as much. And for a lot of people, that dopamine release and those happy hormones you had at the beginning when they were celebrating you doing the thing before you actually did anything, sometimes that's enough for people. You know, they get to a point where it's like, oh, this is starting to get hard. And they're like, well, I already had the satisfaction of other people recognizing me. And then you don't ever run the half marathon. Like, all of these people were celebrating you for making this decision and starting, but then you never actually did anything. You never did it. So what was the celebration about? Like, starting something and then quitting because other people weren't supporting you anymore, or they were inconvenienced so they're giving you crap for it, or you were only doing it because other people were going to celebrate you for it and recognize you. Like, the ultimate thing is, if you have a goal and if you have something you want to do, you have to figure out how you are going to be your biggest cheerleader throughout the entire thing, because it's going to get hard. The start is honestly not it may be making that first decision. Okay, that was a hard thing to do. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is making it to the end. The hardest part is the months of training. The hardest part is weeks and weeks later when no one is around to support you. The hardest part is when you're tired of getting up early in the morning, or you're tired of saying no to outings because you are going to business conferences to help grow your business, or you're tired of saying no to late night parties because you know you need to get up the next day to train and to run. Or, you know, these sacrifices that you make, it's going to be challenging, it's going to be hard. And that's why there's such a small percentage of people who actually make it the entire way, because they figured out how to have internal motivation. And they stopped depending on other people celebrating and recognizing them. And they realized that I'm solely doing this for me. And I'm going to finish it. And I'm going to make it to the hard part and get through the hard parts with or without anyone else's support. And those are the successful people. And that's why finishing is the hardest part, because you end up being alone. Not in a, not always in a lonely way that no one's there, but it's like, people are not going to care as much because they're not your goals, and you can't blame them for that. That's okay. They're not their goals. It's your goals. You can't expect other people to care more about your goals than you. You have to be the most excited about them. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to care more than anyone else. And you have to know why it matters. You have to develop an internal motivation, an internal why of, why the hell am I getting up and doing this every single day? Why did I make this decision to start? And what is going to get me to the end, to the finish line? You have to figure that out. You have to stop depending on other people recognizing you and celebrating you for starting something when you didn't even do anything yet. Prove to yourself what you can do. Show some hard work. Show some discipline, some commitment, some consistency. And you celebrate you when you finish. Maybe those people will be there at the end when you finish, but along the way, they're not going to care. They're not going to care. And that's okay. You have to care. You have to care. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to empower yourself. You have to develop that internal why, that internal motivation, because if you're always depending on external factors to motivate you, then you're going to fail and you're going to want to quit, and success is not going to be in your hands because you weren't your biggest cheerleader. You were depending on those other people celebrating you for doing nothing because you hadn't even started yet. You just chose to start, but then everyone drops off and they're not excited for you anymore. So that's why I believe that starting is the easiest part. You have, it's exciting. It's a new journey. You have other people supporting you. You're releasing all of this dopamine into your head and you're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm awesome. I'm a rock star. I made the decision. I'm going to do it. And then you get to a couple weeks in and then it's hard. You're like, this isn't that fun anymore. The ultimate goal is fun, but getting there isn't always fun. And there's not as many people around anymore celebrating me and recognizing me for doing this. And these people are kind of giving me crap for the decisions I'm making in order to get to my goals. So this is kind of turning not into being fun anymore. And then that's where 90% of people quit, because they didn't have a true why. They didn't know why they were doing it. They didn't have a deep motivation that was internal. They were dependent on external factors. So that is my message to you guys tonight, that starting is awesome. Yes, it's the best decision to start something new that's going to take you closer to your goals. And that's a huge decision to start. But that's not where it ends. That's not where the work ends. That's where the work begins. And that's where it begins to get hard. And so you have to know why it matters. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you have this vision? Why do you have these goals? And then, what are you going to do to make it to that finish line despite no one around, despite no motivation externally, despite being just you? How are you going to make it there? You got to figure that out, and you got to develop a plan. You got to know your why, and that's going to take you through any challenge that you encounter. So remember that when you make your decision today, tomorrow, within the next week to start something new that's going to take you closer to where you want to be with your goals and in your life, know why you're starting, and then know exactly how you're going to get to the finish line even when no one else is around to celebrate you. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Follow my page on Instagram at DocLoganInMotion. Check out my content on my Pinterest, YouTube, all of that good stuff. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. I'm happy to share these messages and share it with your friends and family so I can continue to share message of empowerment with the social media world. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you later.